It started with a satellite, then a factory, and now, artificial intelligence. Elon Musk has never followed the script of traditional geopolitics. But in 2025, the direction of his strategy is becoming harder to ignore. A series of quiet moves, from establishing AI hubs in India to striking energy tech partnerships across Brazil and South Africa, point to something far deeper than global expansion. Musk isn't just investing in BRICS nations for growth. He's repositioning his entire technological future around them. Welcome to Geo Capitalist, where we decode global wealth, one power shift at a time. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because in this video we're unpacking the real reason Elon Musk is bringing AI to BRICS nations and is not what you think. Go ahead and grab your coffee. Because this shift, it's not what it looks like on the surface. Most people assume it's about labor costs or market access, but Musk has access to both in dozens of countries. The real question is, why BRICS and why now? In less than 18 months, his AI-focused ventures, from XAI to Tesla's neural net projects, have begun hiring in South Africa, processing data in India, and running edge device pilots in Brazil. These aren't isolated expansions. They're components of a new infrastructure grid outside US regulatory frameworks that allow faster iteration and looser compliance friction, a kind of sandbox for AI at scale. So is this about speed, about sovereignty, or something else entirely? Whatever it is, the result is the same. Elon Musk is decoupling from Western AI policy and building a parallel future, in places most analysts weren't watching. Let's move into the next subject and unpack the infrastructure behind this pivot. Because Musk isn't just moving ideas, he's moving the entire foundation that powers them. At first glance, Elon Musk's pivot toward BRICS might look like opportunistic expansion, chasing cheap talent or untapped markets, but a closer look reveals something far more deliberate. Across Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, Musk's companies are aligning with nations that offer not just population scale, but policy alignment, infrastructural flexibility, and, most importantly, data freedom. Yes, you heard that right, data freedom. The kind that allows advanced AI systems to ingest real-world variables, from traffic flows to energy usage, without being throttled by red tape or privacy battles. In China, Tesla's FSD, full self-driving training data, is fed into centralized AI models without the same hurdles faced in California. In India, Starlink's satellite data is already playing a quiet role in telecommunications optimization, a project that would be buried under federal scrutiny in Washington. And in South Africa, XAI is reportedly testing linguistic models that integrate local dialects and regional contexts, a dream scenario for culturally adaptive AI and a move that's nearly impossible in GDPR-bound Europe. So when we ask, why BRICS? The answer isn't just economic, it's regulatory, it's strategic, it's about building where the rules are still being written, or can be negotiated in Musk's favor. This isn't the fall of the American empire, but it is a loud signal that the gravitational center of innovation is shifting. And that brings us to a deeper issue. If you remove the Western chokehold on AI development, what kind of models are you really creating? What values are they being trained on, and whose future are they predicting? The real reason Elon Musk is bringing AI to BRICS nations isn't just about escaping bureaucracy. It's about shaping a future where the rulebook is still blank, and he holds the pen. Now let's explore how these nations are giving Musk more than just freedom. They're giving him leverage. Let's be honest. For someone like Elon Musk, leverage isn't just about money, it's about autonomy, narrative control, and the ability to build without waiting for permission. In the US, Musk has faced increasing pushback. Regulatory standoffs with the SEC, labor scrutiny from California lawmakers, delays in Starlink approvals, and political pressure over X. Every move is tracked, every partnership dissected. But BRICS? It's a different game entirely. In Brazil, Musk met directly with senior officials to discuss Starlink expansion in underserved regions. Not months of FCC negotiation, but a single high-level conversation. In South Africa, where his roots trace back, He's building a testbed for clean energy grid innovations with minimal federal resistance. And in India, perhaps the biggest wildcard, Musk secured private sector collaborations to embed Tesla software in state-run energy infrastructures, bypassing national-level political friction altogether. In short, BRICS nations offer something no Western government can afford to give him: unfiltered leverage. And it's not just soft power, it's contract flexibility, AI policy influence, and long-term stakeholding in national development plans. Musk isn't just bringing services to these countries, he's embedding his technologies into the next generation of infrastructure: energy, internet, transport, and information itself. So, if you're wondering why he's leaning so hard into these relationships, the answer is simple. He gets to play architect, not just supplier. In the West, Elon is often a disruptor under scrutiny, but across BRICS, he's a builder invited to shape the blueprint. Now ask yourself, in a world where emerging economies are rising fast, who holds more leverage? The one who regulates, or the one who builds? Moving on, let's take a closer look at what makes this shift so powerful. The new infrastructure Elon is quietly laying across BRICS, and what it means for the global AI economy. Here's the part the headlines keep missing. Elon Musk isn't just expanding into BRICS for the sake of market access. He's laying the foundation for a next-generation AI infrastructure that bypasses traditional Western gatekeepers entirely. And yes, this is where this video really hits home on why Elon Musk is bringing AI to BRICS nations. See, when most people think of AI, they think of chatbots, self-driving cars, or viral tech demos. But underneath all that is a physical backbone: data centers, fiber optic networks, satellites, power grids, and compute hubs. In other words, infrastructure. And that's where Musk is playing a different game. In South Africa, Tesla Energy and Starlink are quietly working with municipalities to power and connect remote regions, not just for clean energy, but to support future AI data transmission. In India, Tesla's AI chips are being explored for deployment in government research partnerships, bypassing expensive NVIDIA dependencies. Meanwhile, Brazil is emerging as a potential testing ground for Starlink-facilitated edge computing, which allows AI processing closer to users, reducing latency and increasing autonomy. These aren't flashy press announcements. They're long-term engineering projects with compounding impact. Why does it matter? Because whoever owns the infrastructure controls the future of AI. Not just how it works, but where it works, who it serves, and what data it learns from. And Elon Musk, more than any other private actor alive, is threading together the satellites, power, compute, and policy alignments to make sure he's not just competing in AI, he's hosting it. So before we move on, let me ask you something. Have you noticed how few people are actually talking about this? The press focuses on OpenAI drama and chatbot conflicts. But while they're distracted, Elon is laying fiber and satellites in the global south. That's not tech hype. That's a new empire forming, one server rack at a time. All right, let's move into the next topic. Because to really understand what's happening, you need to see who Elon is aligning with, and why the timing couldn't be more perfect. Let's connect the dots. Why is Elon Musk aligning his AI expansion with BRICS, and why now? On the surface, it might seem like a matter of economics or access to untapped markets, but the reality is far more strategic. The BRICS bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is evolving into something more than a trade alliance. It's becoming an alternative economic operating system, one that's increasingly resistant to Western financial and regulatory influence. And that makes it fertile ground for Elon's next big bet. One major advantage? Regulatory flexibility. Unlike in the US or EU, where AI development is already facing legislative slowdowns, BRICS nations are still forming their digital governance frameworks. That means Musk has a rare opportunity to shape policy from the ground up, building partnerships that aren't just about compliance, but co-creation. India, for example, has welcomed Tesla with open arms, offering incentives for EV production, space collaboration, and now AI research. South Africa, Musk's birthplace, has quietly greenlit Starlink services for rural connectivity, laying a foundation for AI-enabled infrastructure in places Silicon Valley rarely reaches. But timing is just as important as geography. The BRICS alliance recently announced its intention to create a new financial settlement system, possibly backed by digital currencies and alternative trade networks. Why is this relevant? Because Musk's long-term vision for AI isn't just technical, it's economic. His companies sit at the intersection of finance, X, energy, Tesla, internet, Starlink, and compute, XAI. And BRICS is one of the few arenas where these sectors can be integrated outside the confines of US regulatory oversight. Now step back and think about this. If you were building a global AI empire, would you bet on a crowded, politicized Western ecosystem, or a rising economic bloc eager to leapfrog into the future? The answer becomes clearer when you realize this isn't about escaping Washington. It's about building without asking permission. And for Elon Musk, that's more than strategy. It's philosophy. Coming up next, we'll delve into the deeper geopolitical implications of Musk's strategic pivot, exploring why his push to bring AI to BRICS nations may be driven by subtle power plays. This is where things get even more layered. Because while Elon Musk's pivot toward BRICS nations might look like pure business, it sends a subtle but undeniable signal to global power structures. When one of the most influential tech entrepreneurs in the West repositions his innovation pipeline toward the global South, it's not just a shift in strategy, it's a quiet realignment of allegiance. The symbolism here is powerful. For decades, cutting-edge tech, especially AI, was almost exclusively a US-dominated narrative. Think Silicon Valley, Stanford, DARPA. But Musk's investments in AI infrastructure across BRICS suggest that this dominance is no longer assumed. Instead of lobbying for regulatory space in DC, he's exporting that innovation energy to places like Bengaluru, Sao Paulo, and Johannesburg. And the message is clear. Innovation doesn't need to orbit Washington anymore. Take India, for example. Musk's decision to collaborate on AI research hubs with Indian universities, rather than US counterparts, is as much a diplomatic play as a technical one. It's a show of confidence in rising economies, a bet that these regions can shape the next phase of intelligent systems just as much, or even more, than the traditional centers of power. Meanwhile, China's expanding AI hardware capabilities and Africa's growing youth-led innovation hubs provide fertile ground for decentralized AI deployment. This realignment also challenges the old notion that talent and capital must pass through Western gatekeepers. And it's happening in a moment when institutions in the West are more cautious, more fragmented, and more focused on regulation than acceleration. By contrast, BRICS nations, with their hunger for technological leapfrogging, offer a stage with fewer legacy rules and more openness to partnership. And that's what makes this so fascinating. It's not just a new chapter in tech development, it's a quiet challenge to who gets to lead and who gets to define the future. Coming up, we'll break down the economic ripple effects of this shift and how it's already shaping global markets in ways that many haven't yet noticed. When Elon Musk shifts his focus, the world notices. But when he begins redirecting entire streams of capital, talent, and infrastructure into BRICS economies, the ripple effects extend far beyond press headlines. What we're witnessing is not just a tech migration, it's the early stages of a new global economic circuitry being quietly assembled behind the scenes. Let's talk numbers. Starlink's expansion across Africa and rural Brazil isn't just bringing satellite internet to underserved areas, it's laying the foundation for a hyper-connected consumer base. That connectivity boosts e-commerce, remote work, cloud infrastructure, and digital payments. Suddenly, a farmer in northeastern India or a startup in South Africa isn't just a local story. They're plugged into the global digital economy through Musk-backed channels. This infrastructure doesn't just benefit SpaceX or Tesla, it attracts an ecosystem of fintech, health tech, and education platforms that follow the signal, literally. At the same time, Tesla's integration with regional energy grids, especially in China, India, and Brazil, is driving demand for localized battery production, mineral refinement, and grid-level AI optimization. That creates jobs, stimulates tech transfer, and forces traditional Western suppliers to rethink where value is being created. In other words, this isn't outsourcing. It's value chain relocation, and here's where the real shift begins. Currencies. With BRICS countries exploring alternatives to the dollar in cross-border settlements, especially in energy and tech, Musk's growing integration with these economies accelerates experiments in non-dollar commerce. We're not talking replacement, we're talking diversification. And for investors paying attention, that means hedging strategies, supply chain diversification, and a growing interest in multi-currency trade frameworks. Elon taking AI to BRICS nations isn't just about chips and code. It's about where the next trillion-dollar economies are quietly being constructed, and who gets first access to the blueprint. Next, we'll look at the political tightrope Musk is walking, and how he's managed to stay influential on both sides of a geopolitical divide most businesses try to avoid entirely. There's a reason Elon Musk hasn't faced full-scale regulatory retaliation from Washington, despite aligning major initiatives with BRICS economies. And no, it's not because he's untouchable. It's because he's mastered the art of straddling geopolitical fault lines while keeping the value proposition irresistible to both sides. Let's unpack this carefully. While Starlink expands across India and Africa, and Tesla builds energy partnerships in China and Brazil, Musk continues to deliver undeniable value to US interests. SpaceX remains a critical launch partner for NASA, and Tesla's role in the US EV transition, however strained, still serves environmental and infrastructure goals. This dual loyalty buys time, leverage, and diplomatic cover, but it's not a permanent shield. Musk has also been careful in his language. Publicly, he doesn't choose sides. He talks about humanity, multipolar growth, and freedom through connectivity. These aren't throwaway lines. They're deliberate narratives that frame his expansion as global empowerment rather than geopolitical betrayal. Meanwhile, in practice, his infrastructure deals, AI research centers, and energy systems increasingly favor countries pushing for autonomy from US-led frameworks. And let's not forget influence. Musk's platforms, from Twitter X to Starlink, offer soft power that few government actors can replicate. In an age where information flow is as critical as capital flow, Musk controls gateways to both. That's how he stays in the room with US lawmakers while forging deep ties with leaders in China, India, and beyond. So when we ask, is Elon Musk betting on BRICS over America? The answer isn't binary. The real strategy is leverage. Use one sphere to negotiate with the other. Use visibility in Washington to build trust, and use expansion abroad to build optionality. That's how he stays indispensable, everywhere. And in case you forgot, this entire shift is exactly why Musk is moving to BRICS nations. But before we wrap this up, let's step back and look at what this all means for the next 5 years, and what you, as a viewer, should be watching most closely. That's next. It's easy to frame Elon Musk's pivot toward BRICS as a business decision, and in some ways, it is. These nations are pouring trillions into digital infrastructure, offering fewer regulatory restrictions, and welcoming outside innovation at a scale the West hasn't matched in years. But when we zoom out, it becomes clear that this isn't just about market access or quarterly gains. It's about legacy, influence, and the architecture of tomorrow's global power. Elon Musk has never been one to follow convention. He builds where others hesitate, moves fast when others debate, and, perhaps most critically, he operates independently of traditional alliances. Musk taking AI to BRICS nations isn't some one-off anomaly. It's part of a much larger pattern, one where economic power no longer hinges on geography, but on alignment, digital, political, and philosophical. BRICS offers a blank canvas, and Elon sees that. While policymakers in the West are tangled in oversight hearings and platform bans, BRICS is offering him scale, spectrum, and sovereign partnerships. But there's one lingering question. Can a single visionary ride the edge of multiple world systems without being swallowed by any of them? Or is this the beginning of a new chapter in global economics, one where private capital supersedes national borders entirely? If you found this breakdown insightful, go ahead and subscribe to Geo Capitalist, where we decode global wealth, one power shift at a time. Let us know in the comments, is Elon Musk building the future or choosing sides? And if you haven't yet, watch our previous video. Elon Musk ditches America for BRICS. It connects the dots and sets the stage for everything we covered today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.